In 1831, a slave Nat Turner saw a vision in the sun that he took as a sign from God to start a revolution and set his people free. Over 3 days, he started what would become the biggest rebellion in U.S. slave history. Yet his story has never been told until now. Here I stand, a man not free, whip markers on my back, shackles on both feet, picking cotton in the stone heap, pray the Lord my soul keep, for one day he came and told me, in the year of 1831, I awoke at dawn to see his vision in the sun, it seemed the clouds parted to reveal his tongue, he said, my son, the revolution has begun, and with that, I knew the message was clear, kill the oppressor who kept us in prison for years, raped our women and laughed in our tears, made us build dead men while I sit back in the chairs. Late night, I plot with my peers. We built weapons, no guns. We must slice them from neck to the ears with spears so they can hear the pain of a people who are God's creation, not theirs. I'm the one that they don't teach you in class about. I'm the one who ran up in the master's house, put a knife to his neck and then gagged his mouth, charged him for black murder. I'm Nat Turner. I'm the one that they don't teach you in class about. I'm the one who ran up in the master's house, put a knife to his neck and then gagged his mouth, charged him for black murder. I'm Nat Turner. Through the darkness, we march like hellions. They call it a massacre, I call it a rebellion. We move quickly with no time to spare. Bloodlust leave no life to spare. Women and children neither. After we freed our brothers, we burned down the house to ensure no survivors. On horseback we rode, blood dripping from the hooves. Head out till dawn, position in the woods, then we attacked again. Ravaged them, the blade slashed against the master's plans again. The murder was so passionate, screaming to the heavens, we will never ever go back again. Word began to spread of the violent mob that brought forth the wicked into the sight of God. This is where the demise begins. It was written my tale would only succumb to a violent end. I'm the one that they don't teach you in class about. I'm the one who ran up in the master's house, put a knife to his neck and then gagged his mouth, charged him for black murder. I'm Nat Turner. I'm the one that they don't teach you in class about. I'm the one who ran up in the master's house, put a knife to his neck and then gagged his mouth, charged him for black murder. I'm Nat Turner. After 2 days of non-stop action, we rested in the back roads of Virginia, guided by the night crescent. It was here that I began to write my confessions, for I knew it was only a matter of time till they catch us. A house nigga got scared, ran to the county building, told him our whereabouts, then they beat him till they killed him. In the still of night, I saw the flames from the distance, attacked us while we slept, but this time the difference. We fought back, but the slaves told me the revolution will only stop if they caught Nat. So again on horseback I rode, they gave the chase, caught up with me eventually, had to face fate. They hung me, skinned me, kept my head as a souvenir, beat slaves to death because they were consumed with fear that the uprising of blacks would happen and attack further because of the name Nat Turner. I'm the one that they don't teach you in class about. I'm the one who ran up in the master's house, put a knife to his neck and then gagged his mouth, charged him for black murder. I'm Nat Turner. I'm the one that they don't teach you in class about. I'm the one who ran up in the master's house, put a knife to his neck and then gagged his mouth, charged him for black murder. I'm Nat Turner.
All right, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk Radio with your sister Keisha, brother Tad, and brother Ashe is on the way. We got a hot one for you tonight, family. We hope everyone is doing well. Tonight, we're going to go through the history, some of our history during the month of August, better known as Black August. And boy, do we have a lot of history this month. So, Brother Tad, Brother Ashe, and myself, we're going to bring you that history tonight and give you the information of where you can find it for yourself. It's about to go down. And we got to talk about police and the jump out squad and kidnapping folks off the street. We're going to deal with that tonight as well. But before we get into it, how you feeling, Brother Tad?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Blessed and highly favored. Hallelujah, holla back. I'm in a good space right now. So I'm all right. I'm all right. You know, life is good. Business is good. Salute to everybody who's been supporting Better Days Ahead Fitness. It's very humbling, you know, all the love and support that I've been getting. People showing up to the boot camps, bringing new people every week. I'm just loving it, you know, giving our community wellness, you know, because that's one of the components that we need in order to get liberated. We need to be well mentally, physically, and spiritually. So I'm going to provide the physical part. You know, we do have spiritual practitioners out there. We have mental health clinicians. So like to bring everybody together, but I'm doing my part. So I feel good. You know, people are appreciative and receptive. So that's always a good thing, you know, when people appreciate your efforts. So I'm great. I can't hear you, sis. Sis, I lost you. I can't hear you.
There you go. You got me, Brother Tad?
There you go. There you go.
There we go. All right. All these gadgets over here. Yeah. And I got the nerve to be sipping on hot tea.
Look, that's good for the body.
Yes, because I had a long bike ride today. And then after I brought the bike back, I went and walked another 2 miles. So I am tired. So I needed some ginger and lime into my lungs. You know, this New York City air, you suck in everything.
Yeah.
And on top of that, even though it's hot, we still have allergy
very
issues.
Muggy. Yes. Very
still got to deal with that. So yes, so I got my lime and my ginger over here. Got my water over there, but I feel great. I just celebrated my 50th Earth Day, and I had a ball. I can't complain. I'm going to keep celebrating for the rest of the year.
That's right.
When you reach this milestone, you get to do what you want to do, period. So I'm going to continue to celebrate. And thank you to my swap sisters. We have 3 Leos. Our birthdays are back to back. And they gifted me with a GoPro. I wanted a new GoPro camera so bad. So bad. And they gave all the accessories, everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So again, happy birthday to Takia and Tower again. Takia had a great birthday luncheon. We had a nice photo shoot downtown Brooklyn at the Armory. It was great. We had a great time. So I'm feeling good. I know you feeling good. So family, I hope all of you are doing well. You know, numbers are rising, or so they say, of this coronavirus or whatever it is that they're doing, but numbers are on the rise, and you have to be as careful as you possibly can because other ailments may arise, and you don't want to find yourselves in these emergency rooms and admitted to these hospitals at this particular time because we don't know what the hell is going on. So try to stay as healthy as you possibly can. Work out with Brother Tad, Coach Tad. He can hook you up. Now, I know you got the squad in Staten Island because I have people looking for Staten Island.
Tell them to hit me up. Tell them to hit me up. I'm looking to do some things out here. I got a couple of people so far, but not as much as I have in Brooklyn. So, you know, I'm really trying to do something out here on the island. You know, saves me a commute and all that good stuff. Lugging all this heavy equipment around the city. You know, but let me tell you, them battle ropes are no joke.
They
look fun, but yeah, a couple of rounds of that, folks be feeling it. But it's good though, because you know, people's bodies are really transforming. You know, we say use the body that you have to get the body that you want. I don't use too much equipment. I like to do a lot of calisthenics and body weight exercises. You know, and that way people's body could get back to its natural shape, the way it was designed to be. So people know exactly how they were created to look. Because with so much you know, with the extra body weight, we don't really get to see what we would look like if our body was working optimally. So, you know, we use that body weight and then we finish it off with all the toys and stuff, with the cones and the jump ropes and the battle ropes and things.
That's what's up. You know, you remind me of my sister Takia, my swap sister. She got us working out with Brother Wade, kickboxing classes. And let me tell you, his calisthenics workout, I be sore for 2 days. I need 2 days. 2 days when I'm done with Wade, boy, 2 days. But it's all good. All good.
Yeah, it keeps your body more mobile and more limber and help you move to your full range of motion. You know, with weights, it's pretty much a constricted mechanical movement when you use weights. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, for overall fitness, you know, when we get in our age group, you know, once you're over 35, 40 and up, you really want to learn how to use your body to its full capability, you know.
Facts. There you have it from Coach Tad, family. Telling you, we're giving it to you. Follow his Facebook page, Better Days Ahead Fitness, because I've showed you guys on this platform many times before that you have a lot of these Aryan groups who work out on a daily. They got training camps. And we ain't got no training camps, at least none that I know of. So we need to stay as fit as we possibly can. Who knows? You may have to run somewhere.
Exactly.
And you can't run. You can't, you know. I'm watching these young ladies in the park this morning. This is about 6:30 this morning. So it was quite a few ladies in there. And they riding bikes, some of them, you know, jogging or what have you. And they out of breath on one round. We can't fight with you. We can't fight with you. We're gonna lose the battle. So get yourselves together, get your health together, all jokes aside, because there are a lot of trick bags in these hospitals, you know.
Yes.
2 people I know, my neighbor went to the hospital, gone. Her tenant went to the hospital, gone. Same hospital. So please, family, you know, do your best to stay as healthy as you possibly can. You know, try to get especially here in New York City during this heat wave. We're on day number 5 now with this heat wave.
Yeah.
So you got to stay hydrated. You got to stay healthy at all costs. You know, I see a lot of you struggling along. You know, yes, we get summertime every year. Yes, it makes you a little sluggish, but you should be able to still move with a little bit more mobility. So stay healthy, family. Now, I want to get into some history during the month of August, Brother Tad.
Yes.
And because we have to deal with these cops jumping out on folks, but I want to wait for my brother Ashe to get in here on that. So, family, this is our last Thursday in July. We're coming up on August. And one of the things we wanted to do was discuss some of the history of our people and our struggles here in this country and abroad. So I'll kick it off. And then we'll throw the ball to my brother Tad. How we do that? Then you guys, you got any questions? Anything, put it in the chat. We'll put the phone number up in a little while, and then you guys could call in. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind, brother Tad, is August 20th, 1619.
That's right.
The firstborn African captives were brought to England's North America colony, Jamestown, Virginia. Let's keep that in mind, family. August 20th, 1619. Then, 1768, Charleston, South Carolina, rebellious Africans slave revolt. The Maroons rose up against British military forces and battled, and they beat the crap out of the British. So, that's 2. Brother Tad?
What year you just gave us?
1768. I said the Charlestown, South Carolina rebellious Africans known as the Maroon engaged in British military forces in a bloody battle defending their camp, which was a haven for fugitive slaves.
Because what I'm thinking, 2 famous rebellions I'm thinking of is the Haitian Revolution. What was that? August 14th, 1791, I believe they kicked it off. And then was it the Nat Turner Rebellion almost 100 years later?
That's right.
Yeah, in the same month of August.
That's right. August 21st, 1831.
There's so much that went on in August
in
terms of our story. that I'm trying to think of. In fact, there's a dope book called Our Story. I forget who wrote the book. It was suggested to me by Baba Baruti. He told me to get that book, and I got it some years ago. I'm gonna have to get another copy because I think somebody grew glue on their fingers and caught me. But yeah, it's a beautiful book called Our Story. Yeah, and it tells of all of the great successful rebellions that we had, those that were not so successful. But yeah, those are two that come to mind off cap. Is the Haitian Rebellion, which was successful.
Definitely.
And Nat Turner, which was somewhat successful. Because
Definitely.
He knew how the story would end.
Mm-hmm.
So he did what he set out to do. You know, he wasn't fooled by walking off in the sunset. He knew that wasn't gonna happen. But he knew he had to strike a death blow to the oppressors. And he was successful in that. It shook the country.
Absolutely. They were in fear. And as a matter of fact, they had begun to call in troops to try to
quell the rebellion.
stifle off this rebellion that was taking place. They were petrified.
Yep.
They were petrified. And remember, the reason why they were so afraid now, Nat Turner's rebellion was in 1831, August 21st.
Right.
31 years prior to that was Gabriel Prosser's.
That's right.
Right?
Was that South Carolina?
South Carolina. That's right. That's right.
In fact,
August 30th, 1800.
Was Gabriel Prosser in Charleston, South Carolina, or was that Denmark, BC?
Gabriel Prosser.
Gabriel Prosser was in Charleston. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
answer. Wait, y'all messed that up? Yeah, I probably did. You got me good on that one, Brother Tad. Hold on.
I'm not, like I said, there's so many rebellion sisters.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I was thinking about that at the same time, thinking about the one in 1856 in North Carolina.
You were right. That's Gabriel Prosser, because Denmark, BC. Now he was in Charleston, but his was in June. And remember, it was thwarted because he was plotting at the Mother Emanuel Baptist Church, which fast forwards us to Dylan Ruth and them. So that's why the middle of June is so relevant. So you're right. It is Gabriel Prosser in August, because June was Denmark BC.
Right.
Because when Dylan Ruth went in there, it was almost the same day as the was planned for Denmark BC. But remember, I think he had planned it for June 17th, but then he had two snitches in the camp, and they found out that the people snitched, so he moved it up to June 15th, but got caught out there before he could kick it off.
For sure. That's why we gotta start vetting people, because you got people running around now after some food, and it's unfortunate. I don't want to say who it is right now, because I think I might get with Brother Kifara, and we might have to do an expose.
Shout out to Brother Kifara. I know what you're talking about, sisters.
Because the
Bob stuff, and I tell you, man, I'm leery, and I always say I'm leery of people who try to egg our people on to harm other people.
Yes.
Yes. Like Dr. Khalid said, we need people of all walks of life. We need healers and killers.
Absolutely.
We need saints and saviors, so the healers can't be killers,
Facts.
Killing is left for the killers. I wouldn't tell a doctor go out there and kill nobody. I wouldn't tell nobody to do that. And you don't have to tell the killers to kill, because they know what their job is.
100.
I'm not advocating nobody go out there and do nothing. We just speaking about,
we ain't telling you to do nothing.
Right. Because you don't tell nobody to go harm nobody. We not co-signing that. We not with that. Because if you don't know,
unless somebody try to put harm on you,
that's
you
right.
got to come all guns a blazing to defend yourself.
No question. Like Malcolm X said, when it's used in self-defense, we don't even call it violence. We call it intelligence.
There you go. Facts.
Hey, that's like the new song, Try Jesus. Don't try me.
That is hilarious. I love that. When you sent me that, I was cracking up. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Man, I want us to also remember, I got another one here, August 29th, 1841. Street skirmish took place in Cincinnati between African and Euro-Americans, where in 5 days, Africans waged vigilant struggle in defense of their women, children, and property against brutal racist terrorist campaigns. Campaigns would be the Klan.
Right.
That's what that would mean. That's what that would mean. So all of this is taking place in the mid-1800s, all during the month of August. August is a month. You know, that's when you should become one with yourself, one with your ancestors, one with your passion, one with your mission, because August is on fire for us. In 1854 of August, delegates from 11 states met in Cleveland at a National Immigration Convention of Colored People to advance the position that an independent land-based nation be set up for the absorptive, captive Africans in Babylon who wanted to return to Africa. The first delegation, 1854. August 1st, 1856. That's when you had an uprising in North Carolina. And the casualties were overwhelming in favor of the enslaved. August 1860. The conspiracy uncovered with the discovery of an organized camp of African and Euro conspirators in Talladega County, Alabama. They were going to overthrow the government. This is August 1860. 1865, August 2nd, statewide in Virginia, 50 African delegates met to demand that the Africans in Virginia be granted legal title to land during the Civil War. Now, they went to war fighting for this country, and they had no guarantees. And so what those soldiers did, they started a delegation for themselves and said, wait a minute, what if we don't come back? What are we going to leave? What's our legacy? And so they put together this delegation to get land grant titles so they could have something when they came back from war, even though a lot of them had it turned over and stolen from them anyway, because that's just the wicked nature that we live in. So, Brother Tad?
Look, sis, I'm just sitting here learning as you drop it. You know, look, I'm just encouraging folks to go get some recommended readings.
Yeah.
You know, just put this in your arsenal, because it's, you know what it is? There's so much information, sis, that some of it gets buried in our subconscious, you know, and then you got to pull it up and, you know, you got to revisit it. And sometimes it gets overwhelming because you still got to keep your eye on what they're doing today. We got to prepare for this August coming up, you know, particularly with this pandemic going on. We got to, you know, but you always say, keep your head on the swivel. You got to watch for what's their next move and things like that, you know, because there's so many rebellions. And I'm just trying to go into my mental Rolodex and pull them up from August. So as you're spitting them out, it's just jogging my memory and reminding me of how many obstacles we have overcome. Because I often say, you know, we got to stop looking at ourselves through the lens of victims and look at ourselves as lens of victors, because there were unsurmountable odds that we did overcome. You know, like even with the land grants that we have. One time we took the children to the African American Civil War Museum. Mm-hmm. And I love what the director asked the young people. He said, who freed the slaves? You know, and children only know what we teach them. And many of us don't know much. So some said, you know, the Union, some said Abraham Lincoln, some said Frederick Douglass, some went as far as saying Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Mm. And I love what the director said. He said, no, our ancestors freed themselves.
There you go.
Told the children, they freed themselves.
That's a fact.
And then he went into how how the Union was losing the war. And only till they brought us in, we came in kicking tail like we do in every war. And
exactly.
Then he gave him a little history off script of what the museum presented. You know, on many of the successful rebellions that we did have, that many people don't know, that get lost to the annals of time and history. You know,
Facts.
so we always have to stop looking like we're victims and start looking at ourselves as victors, because any other group would have been written off centuries ago.
Yep.
Would have been lost. But here we are, still living in the spirit, still talking about overcoming our greatest challenges and hurdles. And this is what our young people need to hear. They need to hear stories of winning. I always say, you know, one thing about Europeans and other cultures, the whole purpose of them going hunting is to show their sons how fearless their father is. That's why they go hunting. So when they go take out a lion or take out a bear, they're showing their children how to be fearless. And their father could be a coward. Most of them are cowards. But they're showing them how they deal with confrontation in the child's mind. Because as children, you know, we don't really see things clearly. And then we grow up still with that idea that we had as a child. You know, that our father is the greatest. And not to knock that, because I love my father. But we need to know how important it is that we put ourselves in a position of winning in front of our children. To show our children, if we can beat these odds, so can you. But if we keep running around with our pants down, our head down, always talking about what somebody's doing to us and looking like we always losing the battle, we taking the fight out of our children before they even hit the battle. We showing them that, well, shoot, if they don't crush my dad, I know I can't win. No, you got to stand tall. And that's one thing I've always shown my children. My children never see me cower in front of nobody. Not in front of no police, not in front of no judge, not in front of nobody. Particularly those folks. But we need to be consistent with this when we show our children. We have to constantly tell them that we are truly descendants of kings and queens. And then show, look, you see who in the back right there. You see who in the back right there. We have to constantly show images of brave people. We can't show our children images of a race of cowards. It's counterproductive.
Exactly.
So
exactly. Put fear in them before they even start.
Exactly. But I'm gonna step off my soapboxes.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good. And I like the comments that are coming in. Keep the comments coming in, because you all are part of this conversation, this historical conversation as well. We can't forget. We must remember August 17, 1887, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, father of contemporary African nationalism, was born August 17th, 1887, family. So let's remember that. And if you have a Marcus Garvey Street, Boulevard, school, or whatever in your town, take a moment and give thanks. August 1906, African soldiers enraged behind racial slurs, discrimination, struck out and wreaked havoc on the town of Brownsville, Texas. There's a great play written about that too. I think it's on YouTube. I'm gonna try to find it and post it for you guys to see. Let's not forget the same month, same year, the Niagara movement met at Harper's Ferry, Virginia, and issued W.E.B. Du Bois' historic manifesto against race discrimination in this country against African people. So all in the same month, the same year, August 1st, 1914, we moving on. What's 1914? Garvey found the UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association, advancing the call for land, freedom, and independence for African people. You can't forget the Garvey movement. I mean, that was one of the biggest movements for our people in this country at that time. And, when you look at, people talk about, the UNIA when he came here, but what was most profound to me with Garvey was his political run in Jamaica before he came here. I would employ people to do that. I'm going to discuss that at the 100 Years in a Whirlwind conference. I hope to all see you there. Log on to Thorough Black Talk Radio for ticket information. I hope to see you all. It's going to be a powerful conference. And I'm going to be dealing with RBG versus COINTELPRO. And part of it will deal with Garvey's top political run in Jamaica, which was, in my opinion, profound. His platform, just profound. So I don't want to get too much into that. I'm just giving y'all a little tidbit that's one of the things I'll be discussing on August 14th. Let's not forget that. August 23rd, 1917, African soldiers in Houston, enraged, got into a fight with 17 Euros and murdered them. Like, they just got tired of it. August 20th, 1920, over 2,000 delegates representing African people from the four corners of the earth gathered in New York for the International Convention of Negro People of the World, sponsored by the UNIA Convention. Rights, family. Could you let's just use our mental Rolodex here. This is the early 1920s, where you have Black wealth popping up all over the place here in the United States. Then you have the social structure, which was also growing at that particular time. And they too were forming united fronts and working in tandem with the business community, the Black business community. That's why I often employ you all to check out some of the silent films written by Oscar Micheaux. I believe, in my humble opinion, that he is the greatest Black filmmaker of all times. And he did silent films. But in those films, he gave such a profound history of what was happening at that particular time as it was happening. Brilliant, brilliant films. If you can, you guys go to YouTube. A lot of his films are on YouTube also. So if you can, just check them out. And you can see how even in the sports world and in the gambling world, where they were working together with the business community and the social movements that were happening at the same time. In fact, they were working with each other, helping each other out during that time. So you had the street element, you had the business element, and you had the social activists all working together. I'm telling y'all, if you don't believe me, look at the story of Madam Stephanie Sinclair. She was one of the biggest contributors to Garvey's movement at that time. And on top of that, she also worked with Father Divine to feed the hungry. On top of that, now this is all happening during the early 1920s, family. She's fighting the street war with some of the biggest noted mafioso at that time. Your Lucky Luciano, your Doug Schultz. All of these things were happening at the same time because it was a serious depression for them. But the street element here in the United States were able to employ people using the numbers racket at that time. And they were turning out millionaires back then. So they were able to employ some of the people and then use their connections for some of the women who had degrees in nursing. She helped them work with Father Divine's movement and Garvey's movement to get their feet wet in nursing. So it was all in tandem working together. You had at that time Ida B. Wells writing profoundly on lynching and the plight of Black people at this time. You had W.E.B. Du Bois. You had Henry Highland Garnett. All of these people profound at this particular time working in tandem with no internet, no TV, no cell phones, no Google, just vetting each other. And that's what we're missing today. One of the key things that I often recommend to everybody is When you study history and you look at the triumphs, you have to also look at the defeats, because those defeats will help guide you not to make the same mistakes that those who came before us have made. So yes, I'm telling you, read our history from the 1860s to the early 1920s. It was profound. And not just here in this country. When you look abroad to Europe, I mean, Black people in Europe were beginning to flourish. So it was a great time. At least historically, in my opinion, it was a great time. Now we're going to move a little further. Let's head up to the 1940s. August 1943, the slave revolt took place in Harlem as a result of a K9 shooting a brother defending the honor of an African woman. More than 16,000 military and police personnel were required to quell this rebellion. So they had to call 16,000 military, police personnel, and all of them together to try to quell this rebellion, because a police officer accosted a woman, Black woman, treated her horribly, and the brother wasn't having it. The brother wasn't having it. And a rebellion took place in Harlem. So Harlem, hold your head up, for real. You're more than just the Renaissance. Brother Tad, you got any before I move on? I'm on a roll here.
Nope, sis, I'm enjoying it. I'm a fan tonight.
We got one more, then we're going to take a quick break and come back, because I want y'all to get this piece of information. August 1963, 190,000 Africans took part in the March on Washington, led by Dr. King, to petition the extension of the rights and privileges due them mandated by the U.S. Constitution. Now, we all know how that turned out. Yeah, we got some trinkets. Got trinkets for gold. That's what we did. We got trinkets for gold, because remember, I told you, beginning in the late 1800s and the early 1920s, we had begun to develop economies for ourselves. Now, people assume that Dr. King went to Washington for integration purposes. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. He's deceased. He never told me. But all I know is that during that time, he was also working and traveling back and forth to Ghana with Kwame Nkrumah at that particular time. So could it have been that part of his petition to the U.S. government has some relation on those conversations that he had with Kwame Nkrumah? I say yes. In fact, I know so, because I have some letters that Dr. King wrote to Kwame Nkrumah back then. I'm not going to read them tonight, but I have some letters, and I think I shared them on a program once before. So who knows? But all I know is our economic value decreased, and others begin to flourish in this particular time. Other groups, I would say. Because remember, the following year, August 1964, is when you had the rebellions here in Newark, in Jersey City, in Patterson, in Kingsburg, in Chicago, and Philly. All of these rebellions were going on in 1964. So I don't know, family. I don't know, but it was a powerful, powerful time, because things were going in the reverse for the powers that be. We took something and made it out of nothing. When you look at the areas of Louisiana where the Deacons of Defense came out of, that was an area that Europeans deemed, unsavory. They don't want to live there. They thought it was trash. It was a sewer. It was a dump. And then Black people came in there and they beautified it, took possession of it. And of course, the Europeans got mad and they came in, the night riders, and, trying to scare people off and take their property. Same as, during the Reconstruction era, same thing. Same thing now. What's happening now? You're getting run off, from one place. I hear people all the time. I can't live in New York no more. I can't stay here no more. Yeah, because
Sis, you froze.
you're getting run off. Let me see. Can y'all hear me?
You back. You back. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now, like I said, this is in 64. So you got riots or rebellions going on in Jersey City, in Patterson, in Kingsburg, in Chicago, in Philadelphia, all of it, New York City, all of this at the same time, right? Did it stop in 64? No, it went into 65. You still had another revolt that took place in North Philly, right? August 7th, I think it was 2 days, 1966 in Lansing, Michigan, another revolt. 1966, 2 weeks later, August 28th in Waukegan, Illinois, another rebellion broke out over police brutality. And right after that, from June, listen, from June 30th to August 2nd, they was fighting in Milwaukee. From June 30th to August 2nd, 1967, they were fighting. July 30th to August 2nd, they were fighting in Milwaukee. Same month, same time, New Haven, Connecticut. Another rebellion. This is back to back to back to back. So when you have someone like a President Johnson at that time, of course he's going to concede to what Dr. King wanted. Why? Because you had all of these rebellions nonstop, month after month after month. And it just didn't stop there. You move into 1970, August 7th. Jonathan Jackson, right? The murder of him, the courthouse raid, George Jackson, all of that takes place August 21st, 1971. Rebellion after rebellion after rebellion after rebellion. And think about what we have now. As I go through these rebellions, think about where we are now. We're like docile now. I mean, yes, you're right, Sister Pat. Dr. King was at Nkrumah's inauguration. That is a fact, because he even wrote about it. I have the letter. I got the copy of the letter. I took it from the library. It's my reparations. I took it from the library years ago, though. But yes, so all of these things were happening back to back to back to back during the month of August. And we got more to fill all of you in with. Excuse me. Keisha is tired. I've been working, riding bikes. But we got to take a quick break because there is some information that I want you all to see or listen to as it relates to our culture and what's happening to us right here and right now. When they tell you about this nonviolent way of thinking, or this, let the system work itself out way of thinking and things of that nature, enough is enough. I want you to listen to Robert F. Williams, right, with some overlays of Curtis Mayfield. But it's Robert F. Williams talking about defending yourself. Talks about when he was in the military and he came back home to help other people train. They wasn't going to run anymore. They got tired of running. They got tired of being scared, tired of marching. So I'm going to show you this clip. Y'all hold on 1 second. Let's get this right here. There we go.
Revolution only probably do as well, but chill. When we start the revolution, when we start the revolution only probably do as well, but chill.
They didn't want minorities to get the impression that was the way of dealing with some of the problems. That's the way countries all over the world deal with problems. But they didn't want us to get the idea. They wanted us also to feel inferior, less than men because they know that men will stand up and fight, that men will fight for their rights and for their families and for their homes, in defense of their homes. But we were supposed to be less than men. The next thing is that what is not commonly known is that the Deacons of Self-Defense from Monroe, Louisiana, and also that all of the radical groups, even SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, the Panthers, they all got their inspiration from Monroe. That's documented in my FBI files. But nobody wanted to say this. They didn't want to give us credit for this type of thing. The next thing is that you have the situation of other groups that resorted to some form of violence, lost people. It's like a situation in Chicago where they broke into the house with the Panthers sleeping and they just wiped out a number of them. But we never lost anybody. Some of our people shot other people.
All the things that hurt you so, no one would never know. They never know that life is so precious thing just don't seem to be as free as people claim freedom to be. Things are going fast to have found that all's in the past. To have to take what you can get sure can make a heart upset. Indispensable.
The way they dealt in fear, all kinds of things. So when I got control of the NAACP, the organizer, one of these veterans, I knew that veterans had been trained to do things if they had the leadership. But the only thing was missing was the leadership. So we got 200 people under arms, and even in the Balkans, the Klan, and they didn't show a bit of fear, not a bit. And sometimes I found out how deep this feeling is running with some young people. Sometimes at night, the guys would sit around and they would say, "Brother Rob, do you think they're coming tonight?" And I would say, "No." And they would say, "Why?" I said, "Because we're here. That's why they're not coming." Because we had Doug Foxhole, we had steel helmets, we introduced the first Molotov cocktail. And they had all kind of military equipment, sandbags we had put up. And I would say, well, the reason they're not coming, yeah, they did come once, but they didn't get in. Oh, well, there was a shootout. And they left there running from the black community. The problem was that 18 black women had been struck on the street with the cars and white men passing throughout these alleys. So the black people, ministers had been up and they were begging the officials to stop these people from making their forays into our community. And officials told the black ministers that they had as much right for the Klan to organize as for our communist NAACP. So we asked the preachers, please don't go back anymore. We'll take care of it. So they had struck 18 women. So finally we got our rifle club. I got a charter from the National Rifle Association. I had been in the Marine Corps and I found out that civilians could get charters. We got a charter. We dressed up the occupations and made them think that we were white people. It's like a cook became a restaurateur. Brickmaker became a construction owner. And we just changed the occupations and they gave us a charter. And we had the parent charter for that county from National Rifle Association. So that gave us the right also to get some of the arms that we use. So as a result,
but there's still a lot of love among us, and there's still a lot of faith, war, and trust when we keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on, y'all. Keep on.
That was Brother Robert F. Williams talking about how, he was sick and tired. He got tired of running. He got tired of people complaining. and he used what he knew best was his own military training that he got from this government. And one of our greatest heroes that's rarely ever spoken about is Robert F. Williams and his wife Mabel Williams. And I'm just thankful I got a chance to meet Mabel Williams, to sit and talk with her. And shout out to Brother Blake, Brother Leonard. And when she came to the United African Movement, the Elks Plaza, we had the privilege of being her security detail for that day. And, you know, the things that she discussed with me, I will forever treasure. And she gave me a lot of wisdom. So I'm glad we got our brother Ashe SJ in the building. How you feeling, King? What's good?
Yeah.
It is family.
We
Man,
going in with this history for August, bro.
Okay. I saw my big sister was going in on a what was it? Knowledge Born a Law. Do the Knowledge Radio. Shout out to our brother. You know, my sister was really going in, and I'm just excited. I'm excited for this whole, you know, Black August, 100 years of RBG. You know, it's an amazing feat. The centennial, that's what they call it, right? 100 years.
Yep. 100 years in the whirlwind.
So yeah, it's a beautiful thing, family. You know, pardon my tardiness. I was behind the scenes working on some business, some things. I bumped it. Shout out to our brother and sister Tony and Ariel.
Yeah.
Front lines with everything with us. I remember we had to go to the church and, you know, flush the pedophiles out. And Tony and Ariel was on the front lines with us. You know,
I stayed trying to fight the whole church.
I wasn't trying to fight nobody. I was just, I'm a saint. I'm an angel.
Yes, you are for the African people. Yes.
That's right. But yeah, shout out to our brother and sister, man. And you know, I know a lot of people say 2020 is a crazy year. You know, we had Corona, quarantining, so many things going on, family. You know, we definitely give our condolences to everybody that lost somebody and people that got sick. But that aside, this year it's actually something special. And 2020 is actually going to be even better, family. So you just got to look on that side, look on the bright side, like my brother Taz says, better days ahead. And, you know, we winning over here, family. We definitely are winning. We are preparing ourselves and setting ourselves up for the future. So, you know, you can always look forward to bigger and better things with us on this Thorough Black Talk platform, man. We are building a community and network of brothers and sisters. And we will be looking again soon. Actually, y'all could DM us now if you have a business, if you are a Black-owned business owner and you would like to get some airtime on our platform. We love bringing brothers and sisters up here to showcase their craft, their talent, their products, whatever it is. If it's a service, you know, as long as you like us, you race first, you Black proud, Black power, we will definitely give you some airtime up here so you can share your business, and you might get some customers up here because I know Sister Keisha like online shopping, you know, so she might have to get something for me. You know, I might have to get something for her. Matter of fact, happy belated. Her B-Day just passed the Queen, you know. So, but yeah, some great things is going on behind the scenes, family. Trust me, some huge momentum that we are gaining, and you know, it's definitely going to trickle down into every single thing that we do, whether it comes to the work that we do on the front lines in the community, or whether it comes to this radio show, because this radio show is something powerful that we do, and we appreciate everybody. But we use this as a tool to get the information out. This is not the work that we do. This is not this is a part of it, but this is not all that we are. You know, we are real people. We are really in the streets. We really in the community. Sister Keisha is really at the town hall meetings and up in these people's faces. Myself, Brother Tad, we really put hands on people for disrespecting our Black queens. We really put hands on people for disrespecting our elders. We really do that. So, like, don't get it twisted up here and think that we are these same people like the other people y'all see that's on the internet. I'm showing my age. I'm saying the internet. Online, I should say. Online. and you know they get famous, and you know it sounds like they're doing a lot, but really they don't do nothing but come on a radio show every Thursday, you know. So that's not what we are. We really are people that are concerned Africans that are really you know, you can see us out in the field really putting in work. So that's what we all about. But we are just in honor of what we're talking about, you know, Black August. We are just continuing that. We add into history. And this is what all of us should be thinking doing. You know, we should be contributing to African history. I'm just going to pull this away because I can't even see myself. Where is that? How you take that off? There we go.
There you go.
Yeah. So everybody should be trying to leave their legacy. Sister Keisha said on Do the Knowledge Radio. That was a few days ago when she went up there kicking it with our brother Knowledge Born a lot. She said she is not worried about what people say on this plane right now currently as much as she is worried about, or not even worried, but because we know our sister is walking the right path, but she is preparing herself for when she transitions and she meets her ancestors, the great ones that came before her, her immediate ancestors, as well as the indirect warriors, queens and kings that have put in work for our people. One day when you transition, you're going to see them and you're going to have to speak for your life and for your deeds, the things that you have done. And these are things we need to be thinking about, you know, how are we treating our brothers and sisters? What sacrifices are we making? Because I know a lot of us don't want to make sacrifice. I know we have been born, most of us have been born into, you know, poverty, born into communities that, you know, it's nothing but craziness around us, living in the hood, living in a ghetto. So some of us think that we shouldn't be making no sacrifices. Well, that's actually the opposite. You shouldn't be thinking like that. Because we have poverty doesn't mean that you are not supposed to be able to weigh your options out and make sacrifices for the greater good. Some people think that we have so little that we crabs in the barrels now. We got to fight each other for every little scrap we got. And that's why we can't work together. And that's a main reason why we don't have group economics. Because we have individual economics. That's all we want. And individual economics does not help us. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help our family. It doesn't help grow our communities. Because you can have one person in a family that has their individual economics together, and that's going to be that one cousin or that one whatever in the family that moved out the neighborhood, and you only see them when they come around for the cookout, for the Thanksgiving, whatever you want to celebrate, and they doing well, and that's it. Then they go away, act like nothing happened. You know, we don't have people in the family that's making sacrifices, enough people that's making sacrifices for generational wealth. We don't have enough people thinking like that to set up the future generations. You know, we don't have people like that. And then if you do have somebody like that in the family is so goddamn damaged and brainwashed that they don't even trust the person that got on to put them on, because they're going to think it's some kind of scam or something. They can't get down with it. With our own family members, we have a hard time gathering some of them in the same damn room. You can't even get them on the same phone call sometimes, because even in a family there's damage and we don't even trust our family members. So we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of healing to do, family. But the only way this is going to happen and it's going to work is if we start setting the standard that this is how we are going to move as Africans. This is how we are going to uplift ourselves and in turn uplift our family. And then after that, uplift our community. We have to set the standard. We have to show people that we are trustworthy. We have to show and prove people that we can work together with each other to reach a common goal. And if you can't do that with your family, I know you can't, you might not be able to do it with everybody in the family. Some of us is sick. But you should have somebody in your family that you're working on. If they're not conscious, you uplifting them. You putting them onto some new information. You waking them up to the assault that's happening on our people right now. You know, if you can't go outside and get your neighbors, then you should work on your family, somebody. And some of y'all neighbors might be your family, closer to y'all than your family. Well, you got to work on them too, God damn it. Because we have to build relationships with each other. Too many people want to come in and just play the background and say, oh yeah, I'm Black Power, I'm conscious or whatever. Well, how Black Power is you if you can't get on the phone and call up 5 people, you know what I'm saying, to come meet you and to come do this or to come build or to set something up, you know what I'm saying, to stand for something or to invest in something, whatever that might be. How conscious are you really? Or are you just an armchair revolutionary? Or are you just somebody that they see that be talking that talk, but they don't never come to get with you to learn more about it? Or they don't never get inspired to change themselves by seeing the things that you do. See, we have to start branching out. This is the only way we are going to breed more warriors. We got to start branching out and really taking back our African family, reclaiming our African minds. Obviously, it starts with ourselves, but we have to bring other people in that as well. One of the best ways to learn is actually to teach. And only arrogant, egotistical maniacs sit there and think that they know everything and want to have a debate with everybody, when really they should be putting another brother or sister onto something, because in the process of educating in a helpful way, helping one of your brothers and sisters, you are actually going to get enlightened and learn something through that process of teaching that you didn't even know before. But the problem is with these armchair revolutionaries, they don't educate, they preach, they debate. So there's no growth in that. There's no growth in those kind of debates. Back in the days, we had warrior scholars that had organized debates that was really productive. After the debate, they would come together on the same damn team and say what out of both of their sides in their arguments actually works together collectively, and then come out of that debate with a solution. But then when you see these other people, you see them online or you see them on the street corner talking or whatever the case is, on their YouTube channel, whatever. When they have a disagreement with somebody, do you see them collectively come together afterwards and come up with some solution and take the best from what he said, the best from what she said, put it together and say, this is what we're going to do for the people? No, you don't see that. So this is why we got to stop. This is why we got to stop having these senseless debates. And if you know something, you got some wisdom, share it with your brother or sister. Uplift them, put them on to something. And I guarantee you, if you have that energy and you have that frequency with it, you will become a better person. You will learn something and you will add a positive page in the history books of African people. This is what we should be preparing ourselves for. Like I said, leaving a legacy. So I know tonight we're going to discuss, I don't know what I missed so far. I know I saw y'all had, the Warriors that was just on the screen, the video that you shared. I caught a little glimpse of it at the end. But, we could definitely get into some more of that, discussing, some of our people that are really our great heroes and sheroes. As well as I would like to as well get into this hot topic, Sister Keisha, before the night is through, because I don't know if a lot of the family has saw it. We could get into it, but I don't want to switch topics too much. But there was also this viral video that went out, and it's crazy. A lot of people are talking about it with what's going on at NYC in Manhattan on Tuesday. The police have they abducted a protester. They threw them in a minivan in an unmarked car, and they was all unmarked. They were unidentified. You couldn't even tell if they was cops or not. And they threw the person in a minivan. So I want to get into that, but we can talk about that a little later after we discuss, our heroes and our sheroes, man. And we have to really, like I said, become them, become the new and improved. And do not be afraid to say improved, family. The new and improved heroes and sheroes for African people, warriors. We need to be better than them. It's unacceptable for us to not be better than them. I mean, that's a level of greatness to attain to try to attain, to try to achieve. Obviously, you're going to have somebody to inspire you, but we need to be better than these people. Because if we are not, then we are letting down our future generations. Because honestly, we have to be realistic. The people that have put in work before us have made some amazing strides, done some amazing deeds when it comes to Black people. But y'all see the situation we still in, right? Y'all see what we still going through, right? So that means that we got to do a little bit more than those people did. We have to really build up a new foundation for the next generation. And they supposed to be better than us. And if that's not what we shooting for, if we just shooting to do the same thing, then you got to ask yourself, sit back and ask yourself, what is your purpose? What is the meaning behind you actually trying to do this work? Because we know we have some damaged ass people in this conscious community that be the most vocal about race first and Black power and all of that. But then what are their motives? They have some ulterior motives behind that. Some people just damage so much that they just use this Black power or consciousness to occupy themselves, to draw attention to themselves. You know, you got people that's in it for that. But if you a real, true revolutionary warrior insurrectionist, you are in this for a motive outside of yourself. And that motive ultimately is something that will benefit you. But you really don't do this for yourself. You really do this for the collective, for all of us. And that's how, because it's for all of us, this is how it benefits all of us, and it will benefit you. But if you just in it for yourself, so you can go down in the history books and have your picture and say, oh, I did something for Black people. Like, you no difference from the people that be out there protesting and putting their fists up and wearing all black and wearing the Black French hat. Like this is the damn 80s and the 70s revolution. Wearing the French, whatever you call that damn French black hat with the little nipple on the top. You know? To try to look like you some goddamn.
He got me cracking up a beret.
To look like you some damn Black Panther, but then you only doing that so you can pull out your cell phone and take a selfie. To say you was there, to hold up a sign, and hopefully the Daily News or New York Times or whatever state you in newspaper will get a picture of you and put you in their newspaper. So then you can put that on your Instagram and say, oh, I was there, I did something. You know different. So we got to get out of that mind frame, family. We have to really be selfless and focus on years from now. What are the things that we're doing now? What are the results we want out of it that are going to stay in effect years from now? But unfortunately, not enough of us are even planning. Sister Keisha, you know what? I've been talking to some brothers and sisters because I'm working in this group economics thing right now. And I've been putting brothers and sisters on left and right. But you know what? I've been learning some things about our people. Some of our people don't have $500 to their name saved up right now. It's a sad thing, family. And I'm not trying to sit here and like big myself up and say like I'm better than nobody, because I'm not. But the point is, how you live every day as an adult and you don't save no money. Like where they do that at? I don't get it, family. And it makes no sense. I understand if you living below the poverty line and you work in a low income job or whatever the case is and you got bills, we get all of that. But if you doing all of that and then I pull up on the block and see you drinking Hennessy every day and eating out every day, you ain't got no goddamn right to tell me you broke. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, it just goes to show you what I said earlier. You are not willing to make a sacrifice. And if you can't make the smallest sacrifice like that to save money for yourself, then how can anybody rely on you to make any kind of sacrifice for somebody that's not yourself? For a race of people if you can't even show yourself to be that responsible, family? And yeah, I'm coming for some people right now. I'm not trying to say I'm better than nobody by any means, but yeah, your brother is going to come for you right now because you need to hear it. All people need to hear it. It's literally foolish and childish for us to not be sitting up here preparing for rainy days, family. You never know. You could get caught up in the jam. You get caught up in the jam. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, let me borrow this. Let me go to my man. Let me call my man out. He going to be here right now. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't going to get into it. You caught up in the jam, then what happened? You got to call somebody. You calling, who you calling? Your big homie? That's who you calling, right? Because you ain't no big homie. You a kid. You a child. Somebody else got to look after your ass. Ain't that sad? Not only that, what if you say you a revolutionary and you ain't got no money saved up? What kind of, you doing armchair revolution where you don't have to worry about getting arrested, where you don't got to worry about no bail money? That's the kind of revolution you have in a couch revolution. You think about switching sofas. That's your revolution. You know what I'm saying? So like, realistically, family, like I know I'm making jokes, but realistically, like, how are you an adult and you say you race first and black empowerment and group economics and you're not saving for a rainy day, family? These are like fundamental things that you have to know. Not even just being a warrior. Before being a warrior, the precursor to that is being an adult. Being responsible, I should say. Being responsible, because I know some teenagers that's not even adults that's more responsible than some of these adults that I know. You know what I'm saying? So don't come to me talking about no goddamn you a warrior, a revolutionary, and you ain't setting up for the future for next year, 5 years, 10 years from now. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense, family. And we can't continue to sit here and be broke revolutionaries either. You can't have no revolution. You have to have a revolution in your goddamn bank account, in your economics. Obviously, the revolution starts in the mind first, but all of these things follow. These are the things that should follow and line up right after that to put yourself in a better position.
Get your money up.
Exactly. So, like, I don't understand the mind frame of some of our people. But what Ashe does, like I said, I'm saying this now, but what I do is I actually go out and talk to people about this. I actually go out and try to inspire people to do these things. So it's not like I'm just sitting here behind somebody's back talking. I say it to their face, and then I'm going to tell you a solution and show and prove, show you how I come up, show people how I save money. You know what I'm saying? Show people the sacrifices that I make. What do I say on the show every time we get out? True courage is knowing how to suffer. I don't say that to sound cool. I say it because that touches my heart, because it got a deep ass meaning. It shows you about strategy, teaches you about sacrifice, how to sacrifice for the greater good. That's true courage. If you go into an L, take an L so that you lose the battle, but you win the war. That's the only L's you see me I ain't trying to take none, but if I got to, trust me, I'm coming back even harder than I was before. But not enough of our people are thinking like this, family. So we got to get out of this mindset where we just think like we have time. And that's what it is too, sis. A lot of people just think we got all of this time to do whatever we want, and eventually it's going to work out, it's going to pan out. You on mute, sis. Sis, you on mute. I can't hear you.
I'm saying they don't want to save no money. They don't got no life insurance for when they dead. Nothing. Just nothing. Just nothing. You know how many times I contributed to people's funerals? Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So what you're saying is absolutely right and exact. You have to have a strategy. I don't care if you say $5 a month, something. You got to have something, because if this thing all shuts down and the way things are looking, who knows? You know, do you have land? Do you have property? Do you have a business that you can sell? What do you have? You have to have something. something. So you right, brother. You right on that. You know, a lot of people hard-headed, but you know, as I told my husband the other day, as I turn this corner of history of my life, I'm not giving you nothing because you don't listen. I'm not giving you nothing. I'm telling you right now. Don't ask me for no bread. I'm not giving you nothing because it don't make no sense. Like you said, some people, they got every video game on the planet, but you don't got nothing stacked away. Yeah. Nothing. You got different video game, what do you call them, consoles?
Right.
You got all of these different consoles, but you don't have nothing. You got the latest and the greatest footwear, but you don't have nothing.
You know what, sis? You know what's a key element to what I'm talking about? Because, you know, money is not everything. Obviously, we know that. Money is just a currency. It's an energy that we exchange so we can get other things. So I'm not praising the dollar. I'm not worshiping the dollar. What I am worshiping is Black power, Black empowerment. That's what we need. So another point that I want to say, and I want to big up my sister Marcia, who's in the house tonight, because I will be talking to her youth group pretty soon. I just got to get my schedule right.
Yeah.
When it comes to finances, right? First of all, if we talk about the next generation of Africans, what does that mean? Obviously, we're talking about the youth. The youth is the key right now. Some of these damn people that's our age or especially older, you can't tell them nothing. They stuck in their ways. So we have to deal with the youth. Now, when we dealing with the youth, the reason why a lot of us are not successful when it comes to educating the youth and setting up our next generation for success is because we don't have no goddamn success. And the youth can see straight through that. The youth ain't trying to listen to you if you sitting there on the armchair with armchair revolutionary. The youth ain't, they don't learn that way. It's different languages that people learn. And the youth, they learn by seeing. They learn by the physical proof. So the youth want to see you winning. They want to see you successful. That's how they get inspired. And that's how they will follow suit and follow the things that you try to put them onto. When it comes to like us educating them and trying to be Black power and race first and all of that stuff. So the youth ain't gonna try to listen to your ass talking some Black power stuff and you broke. The youth ain't gonna try to hear that. The youth is trying to find their own way in the world. And they learn quickly that their own way in this world, to make a way for yourself in this world, it's about money. That's the first thing they learn. Because when they in the school system, the ones that drop out, what do they end up doing? They end up either getting some kind of cheap ass job that ain't gonna pay them nothing, that they gonna be stuck in that job for the rest of their life, or they end up dropping out, selling drugs for money, or doing other things for money, because they quickly learn that money is the way. You want them Jordans, you want whatever you want, you got to get to that bag, right? But you ain't got no money. You ain't got nothing. So how you going to educate somebody when they have different priorities? See, like the youth might not even understand their priorities, but it's subliminal. It's like subconscious. They know that they have to go after this thing, and they might even not know how to get to it. But that's what it is. As they grow into an adult, they start to learn that you have to take care of yourself. They stop getting allowances. They stop getting any gift or whatever they want for Christmas from their parents or whatever if they're not conscious. Kwanzaa, they're not getting that no more as they get older. They starting to learn, how can I get that? The sisters or the young brothers, they not going to want to talk to me if I'm not fresh, if I don't have this and that or whatever the case is. Obviously, we don't want to teach our children to be materialistic, but this is children. It's how they think. These are the youth. So you have to be in a position to educate them into making themselves a better person and making their situation better. And once you have that, then you'll be able to educate them on some race first, Black power stuff. Unless you was raising them from that way as a baby and Black power is all they know. But if you're trying to reach some of these brothers and sisters in the hood that don't got nothing to do with Black power, empowerment, and all of that, you're going to have to show them how to fundamentally take care of themselves. And most of us don't even know how to take care of our goddamn selves as adults. So how you plan on teaching the youth Black Power? Huh? How? By a whole bunch of YouTube videos? That's not going to work, family. Because they're going to go right to YouTube. You're going to send them that YouTube link of some Black Power stuff, and they're going to see the ad on YouTube of one of these rappers, and they're going to click on the ad. They ain't even going to skip the ad. They're going to click on the ad, and they're going to be watching something else, and you're going to come back into the room later like, what is it? What are you watching? Like, how'd you even get to this? I don't know. They don't even know. Subconsciously, they clicking on these things and buying into these things. Because they know it's some in there that they want to get to. It appeals to them, but they don't quite know what it is or how to get it on their own. So they get led in the wrong direction. And this is the power of marketing. This is what happens. Do you know how much money goes into specifically Black people for commercials every year? For marketing every year? They spend the most money on marketing to us than they do with any other goddamn race. And that's because they know that our culture, once they hooked the Black people, they hooked our culture. And once they got our culture, they can take our culture and run with it, and everybody, other race in the world will follow suit. So they target us first. Because they know we're going to be the patriots and you know, hold the flag for whatever they bring us and make it look better. So we free, Black people are goddamn free walking advertisement. We free ads, we walking ads. Good thing I got on something African today, because I could be on Thorough Black Talk with something else. Not knocking that if you, whatever you rock, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying the principle behind it. If you are not conscious, 90% of your goddamn day, you are a walking advertisement for your enemy. It's just facts. So these are things that we have to think about when it comes to the next generation. And also, like I said, to bring it back home, legacy, Black history. Right now, a lot of people are getting hip to group economics, Black economics. A lot of people are getting hip to that. But then you got a lot of people that's skeptical. Family. Find a way to get into some group economics. Because you know what? And it's interesting. A lot of people are getting into these group economics things. They're getting into susus, all of this stuff. Then I'm starting to hear that the feds and other money sharing apps like Cash App, PayPal, all of that, they're starting to crack down on them. They starting to watch people's Cash App accounts to see how many things you getting deposited and all of that stuff, so they can put a limit on that. They don't even want Black people to practice.
Facts, Brother Ashe, because that's why susus were always on the low, always clandestine. Like I've been doing susus forever, since I was, I think, like 19, 20 years old. But that's why you keep things on the low. And then, you know, a lot of people, unfortunately, they don't want to see you do well. Yep. A lot of people don't want to see you do well. So you got to keep quiet on certain things that you do. Just do what you do. Take care of yourself, especially yourself. Yep. You know, don't try to hook up with nobody, nothing. Take care of you first, please. And then you can try to build with some other folks. But yeah, brother, you can call into the show. The number is on the screen, 929-356-4004. That's 929-356-4004 to call in to the broadcast. But I just wanted to go back on something, Brother Ashe, because I was looking at this earlier and comparing the history. We said we was going to talk about Black August. And when just before you came in, I was giving our audience a rundown of rebellions that were happening year after year after year after year, from about 1943 to 1967, 68, major rebellions that were taking place. But at the same time, European groups were on the rise. European groups were on the rise. And what they were doing was, while everybody was focused on the South, they started setting up committees and commissions in the northern cities. So, for example, August of 1992, this ain't the 50s, this ain't the 60s, 70s, 40s, no, 1992, they found Andre Jones, 18 years old, hanging in Jackson, Mississippi. Him and his girlfriend. All of this happened in August. And they know the history just like you should know the history. Same, 2014. That ain't the 50s, that's 2014. Eddie Charles Clark, age 51, Marshall, Texas, hanging. So, if this should shut down, if there is some sort of rebellion, well, there is. Actually, that's what's happening right now with these Democratic, Republican parties. A rebellion is taking place. And I tried to explain that to you guys on a previous broadcast, but what you have is a revisit of the Federalists and Anti-Federalists that are fighting right now. And because we don't understand our history and know how to connect the dots, we willingly take part in rebellions that have nothing to do with us. So then we don't get what we protest for or fight for, right? When you look at, like, say, the finances right now, during the last $1 trillion tax cut that was given to supposedly small business, and you guys had that $1,200, I think that's what they gave y'all, $1,200 stimulus checks. During that, nobody said, well, we're going to take anybody black who get a stimulus, we're going to take half of that money and we're going to save it for a rainy day.
Right.
So it crashes.
Who still got stimulus money right now? Let me see.
I want a stimulus check. Where my check at?
Nobody ain't got no stimulus money now. That stimmy is gone. They done spent that stimmy. Yo, Fitz, we got a caller on the line. Let me bring him in real quick.
All right. Shout out to Brother Ray Ray. I see you. That's right, Brother Ray Ray. If they start snatching in white girls in vans, we ain't got too far to go, too far behind.
Yo, Peace, you a Thorough Black Talk. State your name. Where you calling from?
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
You on Thorough Black Talk. State your name. Where you calling from?
Okay. My name is Dexter. I'm calling from Las Vegas.
Peace. What's good, brother?
Okay. All right. Basically, brother, I said you touched on some real stuff today. I mean, like you do, like you did before too. Regarding about the figure money for me.
Yo, can you talk into your mic, brother? Talk into the mic. We can't really hear you.
Yeah, you breaking up.
You can hear?
Yeah, just talk louder into the mic, bro, so we can hear you.
All right. So anyhow, cool. Can I call? I keep hearing myself. Something wrong with the phone.
Maybe you got to call back in.
Yeah, hang up and call us.
Hang up and call back in because you breaking up.
Yeah, all right. But anyway, yeah, Keish, what you were saying before that, he gonna call us back.
So even up until like 2013, right? This is in Jersey City. This is not the South. This ain't the Midwest. Another man found hanging. Same year in August, you found a man hanging in upstate New York. All in August. So I say all this to say is that when you, instead of emotionally reacting to certain things, try to reflect the history and then learn to connect the dots so that it can give you a clear vision about who you're dealing with. Because right now, when Brother Ashe said they were snatching people, in vans, these police officers, and that was some European person.
Yeah, I want to get into that because that's a very interesting story.
And like Ray said, if they doing that to that person, you know we ain't too far behind. In fact, it's always been happening, because I remember when I was coming up and you had truancy vans that would drive around to try to pick up all the kids who wasn't in school at a particular time. And one of my cousins, he would always get picked up by truancy van, just snatched in the van, and they would drive around for hours.
I got picked up.
Him talk about what's going on in the neighborhood or who's doing what. This is what they would do.
Nah,
that happened to you?
I got picked up by truancy, yeah, but they took me to the basically to like a little mini prison. You know, that's where they took me. And then my parents, this was when I was young, my moms had to come pick me up and all of that. But yeah, they've been, I mean, we already know they the slave catchers, man. But now it's just like with this story particular here that we could get into in a second, this one, they do it in an unmarked car. So that's the difference now. They doing it with no police uniforms on and no marked cars. So it's a very interesting case. And it relates to what's going on in Portland, Oregon as well. But we got our brother back in. Let's see if we can hear him. Peace, brother Just. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, man. I'm good right now. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So basically, I was going to say that my name is Justin. I'm calling from my city. I'm an Ethiopian, so-called Ethiopian. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, brother, you touched on some good topics today. And Sister Keisha did the same thing. Basically, about what I want to hear more often, what I want to hear from you guys maybe a little bit, you know, Sister Keisha could touch on investment, because I think last time she's talking about something investment. She took some kind of stimulus check from one thing she invested in. So if she could, you know, touch on that. And for next time, that'd be a good thing for the build up.
Right.
But something about, you know, you should think about saving money. I mean, the problem is, though, I think everybody can save money, regardless, you know, if you got minimum wage, if you're working at minimum wage, or, you know, everybody can save money just if they really want to. That's the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
It takes what we call a mindset, you know what I'm saying, mind frame. What else I want to say there? Regarding about the white folks, how they be hating on the movement, because there are usually some agent niggas who separate the white man. They do anything to please the white man. Okay? So what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is that, you know, we got some crooks in there. I've never been in a part of the conscious community, but I've seen some people come in and go. Like, you know, you could take, for example, Brother Polite. You know, for some reason, when he came in to the so-called conscious community in the beginning, I never supported him. I know that person personally, but you know, I just didn't like something about the way you know, he just his character, and the way he's doing things. So it's like, you know, that's a better way to judge a person. When sometimes, if you ask me who would I respect people in the conscious community, so-called conscious community, I probably have to go with you guys. I mean, you guys are not part of the conscious community, but I probably say Eric Eugene, you, Dr. Omar Johnson. You know, you got other great leaders who came and passed away. Those people. But you know, these smart people, you know, you have to know where they come in. You have to know their motive. Once you understand that, you can say, you know what, before you know money to this person, then you think about it. For me, personally, I wouldn't mind them doing what you guys back and forth. Instead of learning stuff from you guys, you know, put my money where my mouth is. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, white folks are hating. Not just here, they're hating back in Africa too, though. But how do we deal with these people? The problem is, you know, we still got these coward Negroes, you know, after generation after generation, that keep being born. That I don't know what I'm saying. One thing that really gets me pissed off is this white dude, you know, this black dude. He's what's it called? Giving his opinion on Black Panthers, the new Black Panthers in Dallas. They're like, man, we're gonna arm ourselves, we're gonna fight these crackers. And the black dude's like, you know what? He's like, you crazy? You know what I'm saying? They got weapons, you know, they're this and that. And you call the new Black Panthers racist. How can a black person be racist at the end of it? The first thing they're gonna, you know, stand up for himself, defend his family, their interests. That's not what it's called. That's not even university college. I mean, the white folks might want you to think he's racist, but on the day, you can't be. So I'm saying is, we constantly keep having these newborn generations who are so retarded. You know what I'm saying? Like, they take us back. That's what I'm trying to say on that point. We got a lot of problems, though, bro. So I think we solve it is that you shouldn't say everybody. I mean, the thing is, you guys got to make a small groups, you know, small groups. Maybe like back home in Africa, there's a different kind of ethnicity. People can speak different languages, different cultures. So this is what we got to do here, man. You got to identify yourself where you fit in. You feel me? All right, peace out, though, man.
Peace, bro. Peace.
Thank you for calling in. I don't know if you got to hear everything he said. Yeah. I was trying to. It was getting choppy over on my.
We thank you for your support. But anyway, yeah, he was saying, you know, I mean, that's a key thing that I got out of it. He was saying about, you know, investments and such. Like, these are things that we have to share with our community. You know, we have to share with our brothers and sisters, because some people might not know how to save, and some people might not know how to invest, or, you know, just uplift themselves when it comes to that, you know. So like I said, we're not talking above nobody, because believe me, I was somebody that wasn't saving nothing. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't saving no money. I wasn't looking towards the future. But when you come into a level of so-called consciousness, and you're supposed to be a revolutionary or whatever the case is, you don't have that luxury or that excuse to sit there and say that, you know, you don't know no better. You do know better. If you say you conscious, you're supposed to know better, and you're supposed to do better. So that's what the people that we really coming down on, you know. I mean, obviously everybody should be uplifting themselves, but specifically the people that say they quote unquote about this empowerment and they ain't doing nothing about it but talking, then we're gonna put y'all on blast. You know what I'm saying? But our other brothers and sisters that want to do something for themselves and just don't know how to, those are people we need to look away and educate. Because we always see, like I said in the beginning, time after time, you get that family member or you get that somebody in your community that gets in and they get good, they become the plug, but then they run off with the plug, the one that put them in the position or the information that they have, which is the plug, they can plug other people in. They run off with it. They don't tell you. They everybody say what they say when they get money. They gonna move out of the hood, right? They ain't never coming back, right? They ain't looking back. I can't wait to get out of the black community. Oh my God. Damn, ain't that what we say, Keisha? Leave out of here. I can't wait to move up into the nice gated white community. God damn. But how many of them people do you hear saying, yo, this Sunday, let's go outside and clean up our block? How many people saying, yo, let's all get garbage bags. Let's all get garbage bags and walk up and down the street and pick up the litter. They want to live in clean communities, right? But they don't want to live in they don't want their community to be clean. They don't want to clean up their community. They just want to pay somebody else that's not them that cleans up their community so they can move into their community. We don't want to do the goddamn work.
Facts. And you know what? And that can be very rewarding. You know, that's something that I used to do, volunteer with the Parks Department here in New York City. And we would paint the parks, replant bushes, trees, clean out glasses. And I did it in Manhattan, in Brooklyn, in Queens. I did it in every borough, cleaning up the parks. And one time that I volunteered there with the Parks Department, we actually was painting Hale House. Back in the days, I don't know if you all know the history of Hale House. Mother Hale here in Harlem would take in children whose mothers or fathers were addicted to crack cocaine in the early days. And that establishment grew, and they had put on an annex to that. And so I had the pleasure of painting the annex of that building, but it was shut down within a year by Elliot Spitzer. For those of you who want to know what happened to the Boys Choir of Harlem and the Girls Choir of Harlem and Hale House, Elliot Spitzer got rid of that, including the Black United Fund, which was the beginning of a what do you call those, credit union here in New York. Elliot Spitzer had his hand in all of that as well. And it just bothers me, you know, when he was running for office here in New York before he got caught up in that sex scandal. But to hear Black people talking about they were considering voting for him. Well, he got rid of the Boys and Girls Choir of Harlem. He got rid of Hale House. So, you know, be careful. That's why history is important. It's imperative because it has to be your blueprint, your guide for how you operate in the world. And that's what my brother Ashe was trying to say. You know, when you talk about your children you want your children to go to schools where, you know, there's some sort of diversity. I don't understand that concept, but for those of you who think that way, you know, think back to August 2006. August 2006, that was the Gina 6 in Gina, Louisiana. The first day is when they sat up under that tree with some white schoolmates. And the next day, the first, 3 nooses is hanging from the tree. So all of this in August, and it's important that we know our history so that we know where to go. In particular now, you know, you have your president who's talking about suspending the vote this go around until it can be done in person or what. I don't know, all these shenanigans he come with every day. It just bugs me out. But, you know, don't be so quick to jump on the bandwagon with the Democrats, because all of this history that I've given you, all of this history that I have given you tonight, came, with the exception of the King era, all of that was done under the Democratic Party. While you had Democratic leaders in office, all of these things were taking place. You know, they just have a more subtle way of abusing us. So I want you to consider that, you know, and some may say, you know, who do we vote for? Which way do we go? Look in the mirror. I always vote for myself, every office, because I could do a better job than all of them combined. So I always vote for myself. You have that right. You have that option. Or, you know, develop your own independent party and run someone as an independent on the ticket. You don't have to deal with the 2 hands that they gave you, because the 2 hands that they put before you is like a game of 3-card Monte. I wouldn't vote for either one of them, because either one of them spells doom for Black people. So it's important that you study this history and pay attention to what's before you and learn to connect the dots. Another thing that used to take place here in New York, which was a celebration of the Confederates right here in New York City, which New York was one of the largest slaveholding states, right outside of South Carolina. So think about that. Harriet Tubman leading people to the North. You think you have a better existence here? No, they was kidnapping Black people in the North and putting them back into slavery. This is a fact. Ain't that what the movie 12 Years a Slave was about? Right? So you never know what's going to happen. So you always have to have your head on a swivel, keep your ducks in a row, prepare for what is to come. You know, try living below your means for a little while. See how that works. I was talking to a friend of mine. You know, there was some curtains I wanted to get for the house. And I saw some on a website, and I think they were like maybe $27 or something like that. Hell no. So I'm getting the same ones. I'll take a walk down such and such Ave, and I'll get it for half the price. Why? Because I save what I have to, because I'm preparing for the future. You have to prepare for the future. Yes, that's right. The Black United Fund, absolutely, was run by Kermit Eady. And again, the white man, Eliot Spitzer, destroyed. That's right. He got rid of that. So when I hear, these black people talking about they was going to run for Spitzer, are you crazy? Are you nuts? Are you nuts? The legacy of the Boys Choir of Harlem, that legacy alone is gone. He dismantled it. And the Girls Choir of Harlem dismantled it. Hell House, that's a legacy. You had a black woman who was taking care of children whose parents were addicted to crack cocaine back in the days.
Wow.
And he got rid of that. Cleaning up the history. Moving you out. We have to be careful. Like now, Brother Ashe, you see all these people pull down these so-called Confederate statues and things of that. Nah, leave that right there. Don't help them clean up their history. Don't, because like I said before last week, if the world was to collapse today, what you would see is their statues going and Black Lives Matter painted in the street. And when history is recorded, they say, what happened here? What happened in the United States? What did these black people do to make this economy crumble? You helping them get rid of their history, helping them clean it up. Nah, leave it right where it's at. Leave it right where it's at. And I heard some people from Black Lives Matter talking about they want to replace it with black statues. What black statues? What you talking about? Replace it where? You going to put a statue? Let's say you put a statue of Malcolm X on Madison Avenue.
Word,
That's
right?
Malcolm being held by his slave captors yet again. These street signs ain't going nowhere. That's a badge of slavery. Madison Avenue, Monroe Avenue, Tompkins, Skank Avenue, wherever, Putnam. Look at the history of these names. And you want to put a black statue on the corner of these said avenues? I don't think so. Nah, you got to change the whole thing all the way around. Don't help these people clean up their history. Nah, when I go to Central Park and I saw, well, it's going now, the statue of J. Marion Sims right in the middle of Central Park. But there was no history of Seneca Village. No history of that. But you had J. Marion Sims. That's like him as a master on top of an enslaved. How would you do such a thing? Leave that right there. Let these people see exactly what's been done here. Because when the legal argument for reparation comes around, y'all helping them clean up the history. What you talk about? You let them clean up the school books. It ain't even slavery no more in the school book. They call planters and we would call laborers. Like, what kind of nonsense is that? How do you as parents allow that to happen with your kid in school? That's what I want to know. How did that happen? There had to be some PTAs or something. You mean to tell me you let that go down in school? Stop playing with me. Stop.
You know what's true, Keisha, too? Because what you were saying, you made me think about when you were talking about putting a Malcolm X statue in these areas, right? First of all, with the area you putting in there, if you talking about Madison Avenue in Manhattan, you wherever in Manhattan, you putting a Malcolm X statue there. The people that go there in that area are not even all people, for one. And then for two, right? I'll take it even a step further and say this. The people that are taking these statues there, right? Matter of fact, let's even go further than that. The avenues, like you just said the names of these streets and things of that nature that are named after these white, some of them slave masters, basically enemies of all people, but we live on these streets and these avenues. But let's even go a step further and talk about the Malcolm X boulevards of America, the Martin Luther King boulevards of America, the Marcus Garvey Boulevard.
Facts.
If you go to Malcolm X Boulevard right here in Bed-Stuy, you're going to see more devils than you ever seen hardly ever now. It's still majority black community, but if you look at some of the businesses that's on Malcolm X Boulevard in Bed-Stuy, They not owned by us, family. You know how many coffee shops I done seen pop up out of nowhere and look luxurious, lavish looking coffee shops on Malcolm X Boulevard? Like these people that are coming in with their money and creating businesses on Malcolm X Boulevard. That's supposed to be obviously for us, you know? So even in that element, in that sense of it, what really makes a Black community is the people having power. So it don't matter about the statue. It don't matter about the name, the title of the street, because even Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Boulevards is gentrified like crazy. So people are looking for the wrong goal. We shooting ourselves for the wrong ass goal, changing the name to Harriet Tubman Boulevard or whatever you want to call it. What's that going to do, family, if we don't own no houses on Harriet Tubman Boulevard? If we don't own no businesses on Malcolm X Boulevard? It's a throwaway. And that's exactly what these people are doing when they taking the statues down. They doing some old frivolous kind of act, which some of y'all, they are allowing them to pull the wool over your eyes on and think that, oh, we living in equal community or equality in our nation. You know what I'm saying? Because they did that, you know? So, I mean, don't get it twisted. Like, I don't want to be seeing no goddamn devil statue every goddamn day either. I'm walking past them, but I'm just saying, let's prioritize, family. Let's focus on the things that really matter. Let's focus on creating African spaces, going back to what I was talking about earlier, because if we don't have a space for our people to be, especially our youth and our sisters, to be free to be African in, then how the hell are we going to be African? How the hell are we going to be Black power? If we can't even have a space for us to be African and be unapologetic and talk about the things that are imperative to us. We holding meetings and we holding lectures and debates in the white person's goddamn, you know, venue. Having funerals in a white goddamn church. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even have our own spaces to do things. So we just got to reorganize and prioritize the things that we need to be focused on, family. You know what I'm saying? Like, the time has passed for us to really change and grow and change our habits, change our nature, and change our results. The time has passed for that, you know? So I'm hoping that this conversation, because I wanted to really discuss this abduction by the police and also the feds, what's going down in Portland, because a lot of things are going down there, but the time got the better of us tonight. The energy had us flowing on this other vibe. So I appreciate that, but maybe we'll talk about that next week. But we really need this. So I'm hoping that brothers and sisters will be inspired tonight to make a change, make a sacrifice, to make at first it starts with yourself. So make yourself better. Why wouldn't you want to do that, family? Why wouldn't you want to improve yourself? This quarantine thing almost over, right? A lot of people going back to work now. Here in NYC, the trains is getting more crowded. Some people not working from home no more. Some people don't have jobs. Some people lost their job. They on unemployment, but they still out here scrambling, hustling, trying to figure something out. Or if they're not doing that, they just outside on the block, sitting on the steps. They're not in the house no more. So you don't have that time to focus and gather your thoughts and go inside of yourself to come outside of yourself with something that's even better than you was before. We don't have that time to sit still because everybody wants to get out. It's summer. The sun is shining. People want to get out. We've been in the house for a period now. People want to get outside now and go see and go do. Yeah, but did you really see inside of yourself? Did you do what's necessary for yourself to come out of this thing even better? A lot of us did not. A lot of us had this time and just let it waste idly. You know? So it's not over yet, family. We still have time. We are your brothers and sisters up here just trying to encourage each other to be better, And let's build, family, for real, man. When you up here on this platform, you ain't just listening to people that's you gonna listen to us and then you think you're gonna see Ashe one day when you finally meet me and it's gonna be all love and I'm just gonna regurgitate this and that. Like, nah, when I'm meeting my brothers and sisters, the people I build solid relationships with and friendships with are the people that actually build. The people that actually bring something to the table. And I'm not talking about just finances or whatever the case is. I'm talking about an exchange. Sister Keisha has taught me so much in my life, has helped me in my progress. My brother Tad is like a big brother. Help me with my progress. That's an exchange. I do the work. I also give them the energy as a younger brother to reinvigorate it. I add to the cipher. I don't come to the table with nothing and expect to eat. We hunt together, we eat together. And that's what Africans should be doing moving forward. That's how we should be thinking and operating, especially even in a friendship. Because some of y'all got these quote unquote friends that ain't doing nothing but bringing you down. They ain't bringing no positive energy in your life. They ain't helping elevate you. They not pushing you past your comfort level to be better. And that's because they ain't doing it for themselves. So how you expect to be a better person and get to the goals that you want to have if the people around you is just sitting there letting you, they okay with just letting you, not improve and just stay stagnant. If you don't improve yourself and know these fundamental things, you will never have revolution. You will never have Black power. We will never be free. And these are conversations that we are not having enough in the community, in the conscious community. You could go online here all about the 5G towers and you know what I'm saying? How you got to have a little disc on your cell phone to protect yourself from 5G. You can hear all about the crystals and all of that. But you don't hear no conscious conversations and dialogues about accountability. You don't hear that. You don't hear no dialogues about how to be a better friend. You don't hear that, right? Because that means you actually got to hold people responsible. And you actually got to hold yourself responsible. How many sisters out there? I know a couple sisters out there that don't even have female friends. They say, oh, I can't get along with other women. How many people are like that? How many brothers you know that's out there that only got brothers around them that condone their BS, that won't check them when it's needed, won't say, yo, bro, you wildin'. Stop doing that. Like, you need to do this. Because if a brother say something to another brother like that and the brother is not confident in himself, he gonna take it like a diss. Like he gotta defend himself now. Instead of taking a second to understand it, process it, and be like, you know what? The place you coming from is right. It's solid. You telling me how to be a better person, I'm gonna take heed to that and improve. So some brothers don't even got friends either. So we can't on the smallest level, family. Sometimes I look at children and I see them doing fundamental things subconsciously, like not even intentionally. You ever see a child do something and it's just so deep, you just be like, wow, like it's just they in a raw element. So some things that's second nature is just commonsensical. We don't even have the fundamental common sense no more with each other, family. So let's really, one of the great warriors that teaches us how to have better character is Baba Walimu Baruti. You know, get that book Iwa. Study that book Iwa, family. That's a good start. If you do not have that book, you can pick that book up, learn how to be a more solid warrior for yourself, and then it will exude that same energy in your relationships. Your brothers, your sisters, your community, your neighbors, and your nation, your race. So let's really do that, family. I know we don't got no more time. We running out. Sister Keisha, you want to say anything before I give my final words?
Nah, give your final closing, brother, and we're going to roll this out. But, oh, yes, I did want you all to remember, Also in the month of August, one of the most horrific things that I've witnessed in my lifetime that happened with our people, and they're still dealing with the aftermath in 2020. Let's not forget Hurricane Katrina in 2005 of August. Let's remember, that's one of the reasons why we came in and we close with trying to teach you how to prepare for what is to come. You never know what can happen, what is to come. And next coming weeks, we're going to break down what happened in Hurricane Katrina. I'm going to have some Senate testimonies from some of the survivors, and it's going to blow your mind. But thank you. I want to say thank you to a friend of mine who just sent me some more information. I have some more FBI files. So get ready August 14th, because it's about to go down. 100 years in a whirlwind. Make sure you get your tickets. Brother Ashe, your closing thoughts?
Yeah, family. Man, I like these kind of vibes, these kind of energies, man, where we just flow sometimes. Sometimes you just got to get it out and be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be realistic with each other, family, and with yourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to step outside of this box of what you think things should be and start looking at it for what it really is. Because, you know, a lot of us have perceptions of ourselves, and a lot of us think things are one way, and then you look in the mirror and you see it's a totally different direction, family. So let's do some analyzation of ourselves. Let's analyze, do self-analysis, you know, and let's work, family. Let's work on building a community. You know what I'm saying? If you got some brothers, and even in this chat room right now, there's brothers and sisters in here commenting, for brothers and sisters that follow our page, our YouTube, subscribe, please share the video, support us. But I'm just saying, this is a community in itself, family. Y'all should be connecting with each other. The people in the chat, y'all should be connecting with each other, family. Because like I said earlier, we are gonna have to set the standard of what it is to be a real African, family. We really gonna have to uphold these morals and principles and really start showing love to our brothers and sisters and working together to pull our brothers and sisters up. Working as a community to empower one another. This is what we're gonna have to do. And then I guarantee you, everybody in this chat is powerful in their own right and got something going on that they doing for our people or whatever. And if y'all just talk to each other, you never know, y'all could collaborate. You never know. We talk to people, we get people on our chat, we end up pulling them on the show on Thursdays to discuss their small business. And we don't be knowing some of them, but we just check them out, see that they seem solid, and we give them an opportunity. We uplift our brothers and sisters. This is how we got to think, family. So, you know, next week, we're going to definitely have a little bit more of a structured show where we discuss some things. It's a lot of things going on with our people right now, current events, you know, so we will get into that. And as well as preparing you for our sister, as well as all of the other brothers and sisters that will be presenting for this Black August thing. Shout out to our brother Bamani Mayasa, United Front, the Vanguard, and the brother Kuji Chakalia, who put this thing together. It's going to be a powerful August, family. Let's make sure this is the last month of summer. Let's make sure it's a hot one. Let's make sure we preparing ourselves, because the end of the year is coming. We already about to be, this is the 7th month. We in the second half of the year, family. 2020 is going quick. So let's make sure we setting ourselves up right for the future. And it starts with self. And then it's going to branch out, and we're going to build our communities up and build up our nation, family. You know why? Because we ain't got no choice. We ain't got no choice, family. So with that being said, your brother SJ, remember, family, true courage is knowing how to suffer. BB for Hodier, Black Power. And remember, the battlefield is where you stand. Sister Keisha.
Family, thank you again for tuning in to our broadcast every Thursday. As you do, tell somebody to tell somebody where it goes down here. You never know what you're going to find out on these airwaves. But I have to make this announcement. I almost forgot. It's coming. September will be here soon, ladies, sisters. Black Women Ride and Hike Day with your sister Keisha. Be ready. I'm going to post the information. If you live in the New York City area and you want to come out, ride bikes, hike with us, network with us, and get to know some sisters who can probably help you, or you can help them in their growth. So get ready for that. Again, get your tickets. Get your tickets. Go to Thorough Black Talk Radio for the 100 Years in the Whirlwind Conference. As my brother Ashe SJ said, there's going to be some powerful keynote speakers there. And I'm there representing Thorough Black Talk Radio. As I do, it's going down. Get your tickets, family. And again, do the best that you can. To Brother Desta, one thing that you can do, and that's for everybody. If you have a little bit of money and you don't know what you want to do with it, at least put it in a money market stability account so that you can at least get a greater, a higher interest rate than a regular savings or a checking account until you figure out what it is that you want to do. You can also invest in stocks for yourselves. You can go to websites like stockpile.com and start with investing as little as $5. So there are many ways that you can save money, invest money, and so on and so forth. But we're going to close out with Baba Dale Jones because they are coming for the culture. Black Lives Matter and all these other groups, they're coming for the culture. So tonight, we're going to close out with Baba Dale Jones. And just listen, family, and pay attention. We out, y'all.
We start the revolution, all the Robbie doing so well, but chill. When we start the revolution, when we start the revolution, all it probably do is well, but chill.
First of all, definition of culture. Everything you do, when you do it, how you do it, why you do it, how many times, and for what. Everything falls under the realm of culture.
90% of warfare is culture. We want people to understand that 90% of warfare is culture.
The war correspondent, Dale Jones.
We want people to understand that 90% of warfare is culture. See, culture is not a product. It is the heartbeat of a people. It is the musical articulation of our suffering, our pains, our woes, and our happiness. So when someone invades it and rearrange it to make you be talking about pimps and hoes instead of the liberation of African people and fight the powers that be, then you've got a serious problem. They can kill you with your own culture. Annihilate it.
War correspondent, Dale Jones.
We, the people dark and blue, are 2.5 million years old. You better understand that we're being annihilated because we don't understand that we're in the Holocaust and that everything comes to an end. And either we'll make it a positive end or we will be in a time to ride or die.
Dale Jones, the war correspondent.
Consistent with the Global 2000 paper issued to Jimmy Carter, the Trilateral Commission in the New World Order is rolling on people of color and especially African people. I'm never telling you no lie. We're being annihilated. The Global 2000 paper was a paper issued by the United States government saying that because of scarcities, that was the excuse. 2.5 billion people of color had to be erased from the earth, annihilated, because there was not enough to go around. And after that, we had crack, AIDS, Ebola, wars and rumors of wars. We had bird flu. We had all kinds of things riding down on us because we don't understand that we're in a Holocaust and that everything comes to an end. And either we'll make it a positive end or we will be annihilated. Ask me where the people of Tasmania annihilated. Ask me where the red and black people of this land annihilated. Ask me where the Mayan Empire annihilated. Everything that they've touched and came in contact with, they destroyed. They give us no mercy. FEMA in its genocidal program slaughter black men, women, and children. I've been writing for years. Some of my major works is Black Holocaust and Black Holocaust 2000. Showdown is probably the most dynamic book that I've done. This is the one that's going to get me in trouble because they're going to claim I'm calling for a race war of sorts. But what I'm doing is telling you there is going to be a race war. See, I observe social science. I don't instigate it. You feel me? And as those chessboard lines up with the New World Order rolling down on us, what they're killing our people in Katrina, annihilated. What they're killing our people in West Africa, annihilated. What they're trying to control the land, labor, resources of the people of Latin America, Africa, China, and everywhere else, there's going to be a showdown. And that showdown is coming right on us quick, fast, and in a hurry. You feel me? So what we have to do is prepare for this. Not in panic, no, but we know it's coming. For example, we were unprepared to handle our business in Louisiana. FEMA and its genocidal program, whose job is not Federal Emergency Management Agency, it's a killing machine. FEMA slaughtered black men, women, and children, and we all became spectators as our brothers and sisters died. FEMA, it's a killing machine. And then they brought in the black water mercenaries straight from Iraq. And they went on search and destroy because Governor Blanco of Louisiana said, kill anybody on sight who you think is doing the wrong thing. You feel me? We watched the beginning of the final phase of the African Holocaust. Now, what are we going to do about it? Are we just going to sing a simple song, or are we going to move African style? It's time to rise.